What you got going on over there? Random rambling, it's a lot over here, so just keep up. Welcome to my life, be like real life, told by QV. What it look like this week, we got an hour for you to save the world, let's go. I'm so happy to have you here.
Welcome back. It's another week, another day, another dollar. It's my life be like real stories told by QV, and it's your host. I'm your host. Couldn't be anybody else other than QV. Yeah. And we back. So let's get into it, child. My life be like this week? I don't know. Um, on the bright side, did start school and I have an A in the one class that they got me in, but I don't understand why I'm having to take this class because it's one of them university classes, and I feel like once you have a degree and you go back to school, and like this class is not necessary. This class is necessary for people who've never been to school before. Cause having me look up like my advisor, like my assignment for tomorrow, literally, is to look up like how to find different university information, like my advisor name and stuff like that. That's crazy. How to navigate? Really, it should have been called "How to Navigate Canvas" and your university portal. So yeah, I have an A in that class. Say that. Um, um, because yeah, that part's fine. The other part is everybody's been asking me how much have I gotten on my GoFundMe. I've gotten $1,000. And that's what I have. So that's not even 2 months worth of mortgage. It'll get the mortgage paid for November. I got that. So that's what I have. My GoFundMe, of course, will be linked into this podcast caption. Um, I appreciate everybody that gave to me. And while I'm here, I'm going to address some of the idiotic comments and stuff I've gotten. If you know me, you know I do not like asking people for help. I don't. I exhausted all my resources before I decided to post my podcast. Post my GoFundMe. So all the things that y'all think that I haven't done, I've done them. And the amount of people that wasn't listening or didn't read is crazy. It's crazy work. Cause I'm like, what? Huh? Okay. Listen. I've exhausted everything that I can. I still haven't found a job yet. And everything else, and there's another week that's gone by. Another week. So now we're going into November. And I still haven't found a job. Mind you, I've been looking for jobs since February or before. Really, I think about February. Yeah. And now we're in the midst of government shutdown and all the things. I'm over it. I'm over it. But other than that, I'm in good spirits. I'm all right. Um, Life is just life at this point. I tried to shift my focus this week a little bit away from myself to other people trying to help others because this is a difficult time right now. And I'm going to touch on some of that at the end of my podcast down over into it. But um, let's go ahead and let me get into this week's topic. And let me preface this by saying I'm not going to let y'all defeat me this week. This week starts season 2, which is I really need to welcome y'all. We are officially starting season 2, and I forgot to welcome y'all to season 2. Made it to season 2. Season 2. And I'm excited about this season. There's a couple of things I want to let y'all know about this season before I get started. Um, I do have ads for sale for this podcast, so they're only $10 for 4 weeks. That's not $40. That is $10 for 4 weeks. So if you have a small business, you want a quick little blurb ad. I run all my ads at the beginning of the show, not at the end. So if you want to do ads, then you could do ads. Just inbox me or email me. And I can show you how to get your ad up on the podcast. Um, and I'm also for this season, I want to interview people. So if you have a topic you want to discuss, you think that um you think that I would want to talk about or something, hit me up. I'm open this season. I really do want to interview some people. There's a couple of people said they want to think about being interviewed, and I hope they still want to think about being interviewed. Um, yeah. So if you have something interesting to talk about, um, then let me know, and I'll get you on the show. Let's go ahead and get in this topic this week. My topic this week, as I was about to say before I realized I didn't welcome y'all to the next season, um, is going to be a tough topic. I'm probably going to lose some people here, but I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna fall out about it. Um, it's necessary, and I think I've mentioned this like multiple times. I'm in my deconstructing religion era. Like one thing about me, I'm a member of clergy. I'm a member of clergy and the Christianity, and right now my face is really turned up. I'm very disappointed in the people who call themselves Christians because I'm like, this is not how Christians act. Ain't no way me and you following the same Christ, cause ain't no way. Um, that what would Jesus do? I feel like we need to go back to wearing shirts and bracelets, cause I felt like y'all act like y'all had a little sense when we was. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? Cause this is not what Jesus would do. Um, this is the opposite of what Jesus do, and it's sad to me that we in such a place of being this crazy and stuff. So I want to talk to y'all through some of what I feel like is going on. This topic is very personal and deep to me. I'm just gonna say some of y'all are not gonna like it. My hope is that some of y'all deep down look in yourself and realize, hey, um, that's relatable, and I feel that rather than writing me in a couple of days and tell me, or tomorrow, and tell me how disgusted you are when this podcast posts. It's gonna post tonight. Um, and tell me how mean and crazy and mad you are because I said what I said. Because I done already told y'all I don't know how to show up to be nobody other than myself. So trying to get me to be somebody else is always a negative. Um, so let's get in this topic today. This topic today is when faith becomes a weapon. Healing from trauma bonded religion. Because I've discovered this one thing here. It's true. A lot of y'all are trauma bonded to Christianity. Y'all don't believe like y'all say y'all do. Y'all are trauma bonded to it. It is your coping mechanism. It is your idol. It is what you use to mask up the places in your life that you are unhealed from. So, from that unhealed, unclean, hurtful place, you hurt others. That's what y'all do. And it's sad because you don't have to live like that. But it's often what we do. And let me say this, I'm not trying to tear people down in this conversation. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help y'all understand that it's not like that. That you don't have to live like that. I'm trying to bring about healing to some people because I understand that there are a lot of false pastors, preachers, a lot of shady doctrine and theology. And I kind of feel like we believe what we consume more than we study to show ourselves approved. Let me say that again. We believe more of what we consume. We believe what we consume more than what we study to show ourselves approved. What do I mean by that? Give me what you're trying to say. A lot of y'all believe just what y'all pastors tell y'all or just what other people in the faith tell y'all. Y'all don't go study, follow up, go make sure these people are telling the truth or anything. Your discernment is tainted because you have an opinion about everything and nothing. So whatever somebody tell you, that's what you feel like is true. I mean, literally, we're living in a time right now where you could call out, um, you could call out Jesus' name or God's name attached to anything, and y'all believe it. Some of y'all, not everybody, but some of y'all leave. Y'all don't fact check nothing, and there are people out here that know that play on that, and yeah. hmm Like I said, I think it was last week. Christianity is a monolith. They use it to play on y'all emotions, feelings, anything. These people know that I can say God and Jesus and they'll fall for me. They know this. And I'll be like, oh, Lord. Because the Jesus in them ain't even said nothing like that. People know that they can take words in the Bible and twist them around because you don't have enough Bible, you don't go to Bible study, you don't have enough leadership, Christian leadership trying to anything to interpret or anything what's going on. Y'all just come to church on Sunday and that's it. And that's a lot of problem is we want to just come to church on Sunday. We don't want no revelation. We don't want no knowledge. We don't want no wisdom. We don't want nothing. We can tell by that because a lot of y'all, if y'all know y'all pastors ain't preaching, y'all ain't come to church on Sunday. Y'all don't want to hear nobody else. Or when you do make it to church on Sunday, you realize your pastor ain't preaching, you ain't clapping, you don't say nothing or nothing. You sit there stony and stoic like somebody owe you something. Like, what he up there for? What he up there for? I don't want to hear him. Like, yeah. There's no reason why your pastor can't tell you that he ain't preaching today. Because you ain't going to come. You ain't going to do nothing. That's insanity to me. As long as you got the word in your heart and you making sense, I'm going to listen to you. Like, I don't even care. I don't care who's saying it. Jesus could literally throw a donkey in the pulpit to give a word to me. And as long as this discernment, like, I'm like, yeah, yeah, friend. Yeah, amen. But it's not like that across the board. And it's sad because I feel like this. A lot of people miss out on a lot of revelation, a lot of good word, a lot of impartation because they don't want to receive from that unless one particular person said or two particular people said they don't want to hear it. And I know the Lord will hide your word in somebody's heart that you hate. Let me say this again. The Lord will hide your word in somebody else's heart that you hate. Because one of y'all gonna break. Either they gotta be the one to give you the word. He gonna test them. It's twofold. He gonna test them to see what they give you the word and test you to see if they do decide to give you the word, will you listen? And I'm gonna tell you which one ends up happening most of the time. Most of the time, they'll put the person who giving the word or give it, and the person who is for won't receive it. I'm just telling y'all facts. I'm gonna say this right here. Y'all wanted me to do this. Now you've done the after I did the public education 2 weeks ago. I think that's about 2 weeks ago. Y'all was like, you hadn't really did the religious podcast, like the religious topics. I mean, you touch on it here and there. Now I'm here and y'all don't want it. I know. I know it's gonna run y'all out of here. It's gonna hurt some of y'all, but you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just follow on along. I got my notes over here. If you see me looking this way, I got my notes over here. Well, I'm gonna let y'all know this. I decided to go live on TikTok while I was recording this podcast. So there are people in and out of this TikTok listening to this. But if you feel like I'm got a little pause in me, it's because I'm reading my notes because I know this one was gonna be good and I knew I was gonna have to have notes. Miss QV was ready for class today, okay? Because I'm finna school y'all real real fast. So the thing about being trauma bonded in religion, is that um being trauma bonded is how unhealed people weaponize their faith to control, criticize, and condemn. 3 C's. We control, we criticize, and we condemn people when we are unhealed. You bleed all over people. So I'm gonna give y'all an example of what this looks like. A lot of times, what this looks like. I'm a pastor, and this is not talking about me. I'm a pastor, and I struggle with my sexuality. So, what I'm going to do is every time you look up, I'm going to condemn gay people. I'm going to try to point gay people out, shun them, and everything else. And I'm going to make sure I throw stones, and all the while, I'm at home watching gay porn, fantasizing, dreaming about being with people of the same sex and everything else. But I'm gonna make sure when I do criticize you, I'm gonna go find every verse in the Bible to flip over about your homosexuality while I'm not addressing mine. that's being trauma bonded to your religion. Because the only really reason why you really, really truthfully serving the Lord is to hide up your mess and make others feel bad for the mess you won't heal from. I know. Y'all ready to run out. It's okay. Y'all will live. Um, I don't like how people misuse faith. This is not what faith for. I've said this once or twice and 3 million times. If you look in Ephesians 4, this is for the edifying of religion. Is literally for Christianity. Is for we are literally here for um um to edify and build and encourage. Um so I'm trying to let me get this person off of my live because you doing way too much. Uh Hold on. Sorry y'all. I got sidetracked. So I got somebody who decided to come on my live on TikTok and decided to start trolling me. I ain't like other creators and stuff. Um I will I moderate my comments and stuff on TikTok. I will delete them, block you and everything. I'm almost like Jackie Aina. I'm not. We not coming over here with that. Not doing that. So back to what I was saying. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Cause I'm like, what? When they asked, I'm like, the first question I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see why you would ask that. But then they started trolling. So no, boo boo, you got to go. Back to what I was saying. Um, back over in Ephesians 4, religion was meant to edify and build, strengthen and encourage. It was never meant to criticize, hurt, tear people down, control, manipulate, and all the things that religion, especially Christianity, has become. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I've never practiced any other religion other than Christianity. I have been non denominational my whole life. I've gone to churches that are part of a denomination, but as for me, I've been non-denominational my whole life. Even when people would ask me, "So do that mean that y'all be like playing with snakes and stuff?" That's cultish. You read them doing. My pastor them ain't never bought snakes out and played with snakes and anything else. I Not my thing. Um, let's see. So I said all this to say that I know some of these statements, especially in the last few months, really weeks and days, seem evil. But honestly and truthfully, they just come from someone that's unhealed. And being unhealed does more unintentional harm than intentional harm does. Like the bleeding, the unintentional bleeding on people hurts more than if you just actually intend on doing it. And trauma bonding, sometimes people don't know they trauma bonded. This is why I'm making this podcast, because some of y'all don't know y'all trauma bonded. Some of y'all actually think y'all believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and this is what God would have you to do. But religion does not hurt. I'm going to say that again. Religion does not hurt and it does not cast people out. And before y'all go talk about all these things that happened in the Bible before, let me say this one more time. Religion does not hurt. The Bible is a storybook. It is the inspired word of God. It is meant to get you to the times of Christ. Things happen. It is a history book. If you think of it like that, y'all wouldn't do half the stuff that y'all do. It is meant to inspire and encourage. It's a history book. It's a religious text, but it's no different than your history book. The end. So, let's talk about the word trauma bond, what a trauma bond really is. Talk about what a trauma bond. So, a trauma bond is when you form a sense of safety, and a sense of self-worth, to get, when it gets tied to the same system or the same mechanism or person that caused you pain. So you bond to the same thing that hurt you. That's a trauma bond. So if you grew up in a religious space that ruled out of fear, out of guilt, out of shame, if that's what they use, you learn to use that same mechanism um to operate to get people to do what you want them to do, or to make people feel the way you think you could feel. I mean, think that you're supposed to feel. Not understanding that with Christ, it's about love. It's about joy, peace, acceptance, all the things. Some of you don't have not one spiritual gift in the world, but y'all got a bunch of hatred and judgment in y'all heart. And I be looking at y'all like, so do you really think that's acceptable and okay? Because it's not. That's your own. We'll get into that. So, instead of, you don't find peace in your faith, which is that's what you're supposed to do. Faith is literally supposed to be peaceful. If you didn't know your faith is supposed to be peaceful, I don't know what to tell you. But faith is supposed to be peaceful, but instead y'all find pressure, and instead of love you learn fear. So you literally just rule out of fear. Um and for a lot of people, faith has become less about the relationship with God and more about survival. This is why it's a coping mechanism. It's a survival, um a compact to survival. This is what you do to live. And that's why I say you shouldn't be so wrapped up. The Bible actually warns us about being so holy that we ain't no earthly good, because at the end of the day, you still have to live on this earth. Regardless of what faith you are, you still have to live on this earth as a person among other people, especially among other people that don't believe the same things that you believe, even if you practice the same religion. I know that's gonna astound some of y'all. Oh, but you literally have to live against amongst other people that don't believe the same things that you believe, even if y'all practice the same thing. This is where personal convictions come in. This is where sanctification is progressive comes in. I have been a practice of I practice Christianity my whole life, 36 years almost. I've been in church, I've worked in church, I've done all the things. Sunday school babies, all that, up until now, has been a member of clergy. I've been in church my whole life. I do not expect somebody to get saved today and live like I live, have the same convictions, know what I know, etc. It's one of those things where you live and you learn. And depending on who's teaching you is how you gonna learn. Depending on what how serious you take it, because some people religion is something that they casually practice and some people take it more seriously than others. So I don't expect somebody who even is the same age as me, about to be 36, to go get saved today and to be able to read the Bible like I read it, to be able to pray like I pray, to be able to study and interpret like I study and interpret. Like these things are progressive. It's not all progressive, it's a choice. You gonna have to, that person has to make the choices. Am I just gonna be saved and go to church and casually just pass on by? Or am I gonna get saved and try to figure out what my purpose is in life? And if I'm called, I'm gonna go into ministry and I'm gonna do this. Like all of that stuff is choices, which is why I say you being so spiritual that of earthly good, at the end of the day, you still have to live on this earth as a person amongst people who aren't like you, who don't practice religion like you, even if y'all have the same faith. Y'all don't believe the same things. Because I have people now that I say stuff and they're like, well, I don't know about that. Because I don't think I could do that. And I don't say nothing. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm not the most condemning person in the world. It is what it is. You do what you do. I ain't tripping. Never will I ever be tripping on somebody when they tell me, well, I don't believe or whatever. I'm not finna get into no big awkward debate with them. I've learned to respect people and walk away. Y'all that argue religion, kudos to you. QV is not about to argue religion with nobody. Like nobody. Um so when trauma goes unhealed, some people just kind of hold on to that theology, not because it brings them close to God, because it makes them feel safe and it makes them feel in control. That's what this is about. This religion is not your safety net. It's not your ruler either. Say it again. Religion is not your safety net, and it's not your ruler either. Let me put some sense into this, like in real life. I work on a job as an educator. I'm an educator. That's what I am. That's what I do every day, Monday through Friday, kindergarten through first grade, alternative school. That's what I do. I have an employee manual guidelines from my job that I have to follow, and everything else. I have bosses and everything, all the things. My head's itching. I'm not bigger than the program. Everything isn't for me, by me. I'm not the goalpost for alternative school or anything. I just work for them. Some of y'all think y'all are Christianity and it's your way or the highway. I hope that makes sense to you. You are a follower of Christ. Like, he's in control. You're not. That makes sense? I hope it makes sense. Let me keep going with my notes. Because how many minutes were we in? 35. We're doing good. So what I want to talk about now is projection. Um, and this is where I might lose a few of y'all, but y'all be alright. So unhealed people often project their pain through theology. They turn their own fears into doctrine. They use scriptures like weapons, not because they're holy, but because it helps them make sense of their hurt. It sounds like if I had to suffer, then everybody else has to suffer too. Or if God convicted me about this, then you must be wrong if you don't live like me. One of the big things right now that people like to convict people about is Halloween, celebrate holidays, the who should be, who shouldn't have, who shouldn't. This is the most wonderful time of the year to trauma bond to your religion. All the things, and the current crisis of our this administration doesn't help it at all. Not at all. So it's not. Let me see how I could put this into some words. What you feel guilty about in all aspects of your life doesn't mean I'm supposed to feel that guilt too. So a lot of why I don't. There's a lot of different things that traditional church do that I'm like, I'm not doing that. If the Lord's not speaking to me, and I tell y'all a lot of this with me, especially I know some people really, I know pastors and okay, let's fast. No, is that God telling you you were supposed to be fasting, or you were supposed to be consecrating, or you needed to step off of social media, or you needed to stop eating out every day, or you needed to not bring up, or was that supposed to be for everybody? So they'll just put everybody because, and I've seen this happen. I know y'all are finna say, but cubic, no. The Lord literally tells them to fast, them by themselves, and that because they don't want to do it on their own, they go tell everybody that they pastor. Oh, we're gonna go on a church fast, and you wonder why people not understanding, not getting revelation, not getting anything out of it, have quit because it was never meant for them to fast. I am going to say something so controversial right now. Every time that your pastor tell you to fast, you need to pray and see was it talking to everybody or you, everybody or just them. Do not go on a corporate fast, corporate consecration, or anything else until you pray. There are things that I have learned, and I could sit and write a book about almost. Every time somebody asks you to do something, really, you should pray. And I know this is gonna come off to people. Well, then what's the point of having a pastor? Blah 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 blah. Some of y'all don't even know how to pastor for real. It's a control thing with you. This is what you do. Some of y'all are trauma bonded to that very title. Like, this is what you do to control people. You are a pastor because you want to control somebody. You have no control in your personal life, so you have to find people to control. So y'all trauma bond with the title pastor to do whatever you want to do. That's why we got so much discord and discourse in the Christian religion, because being pastors and prophets and all of these things have y'all feeling like y'all above the law and the program, and it's not. So yes, I'm gonna tell you, anytime somebody tell you you ought to be sowing this kind of money seed, anytime somebody tell you you need to go fast, you need to go consecrate, you need to pull this out, we finna stop doing this, you need to pray and see, was that really a word for you, or was that supposed to be specifically for the person who told you and they just didn't want to do it by themselves? And I feel like if y'all just that transparent and say, like, hey, the Lord has called me to fast, I need a fasting buddy. Or the Lord has called me to consecrate and I need a consecration buddy. Instead of getting up in front of the church talking about the Lord said the church needs to be on a fast and we need to do this or we need to consecrate for that, then y'all wouldn't have as many problems and issues and stuff. I check everything, and I'm gonna be honest. I love my pastors, and I really don't think, I'm not gonna say I don't think my pastors can do no wrong, because I know everybody can do no wrong. But I pray. You can't tell me to go fast and consecrate without me saying, is that for me, Lord, or what's going on with that? Especially if I don't feel like it's time. And when I fast from when I'm on what the Lord tell me to fast from and tell me to consecrate from. I'm not gonna sit here and hold y'all, because a lot of this stuff is personal conviction. And I say this all the time because I know the biggest thing about fast is food, 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 food. Some of y'all need to fast from social media. Some of y'all need to fast from the men that y'all lay in the bed with, or the women y'all need to lay in the bed with. Some of y'all need to fast from the things that y'all watch and consume on TV, on the radio, social media, etc. Some of y'all need to fast from, I don't know, places you go, things you see, people that you are connected to that you shouldn't be connected to. This is why it's important for you before you go fast or whatever. There's no sense of fasting telling me, oh, we're not going to eat meat and vegetables. I'm a vegetarian. I can do that. I don't eat meat. I don't eat. Before, some of y'all have already adopted these life as lifestyle choices. Fasting is a sacrifice. So you need to find what you need to sacrifice. This is why it's important to pray and ask, is it for me? Am I supposed to be doing it like this? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way over to Z. I know y'all getting upset with me, but I promise y'all, when y'all start praying and getting your own revelations and getting your own knowledge about things, getting your own wisdom about stuff, it wouldn't be so much discourse. You y'all'll be okay. Um, cause let's understand that control isn't holiness. It's a trauma response. You when y'all be doing all this crazy stuff, it's not you're not defending God. You're defending your own pain. What's up? Oh, I was speaking to somebody on live. Um, Healing looks like grace, not gatekeeping. And that's big. Because if it was left up to some of y'all, a lot of people, y'all would say a lot of people couldn't do anything because you want to gatekeep, gatekeep, gatekeep. Gatekeeping is a trauma response. Some things I feel like you should gatekeep, but a lot of things y'all gatekeep is traumatic. if you keep up with it, if you guard it, if you don't have access, let other people have access to it, it's comfortable. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is conviction versus control, because there's a big difference between conviction versus control, and I've used both of those words a whole lot tonight. Um, so conviction is personal. It's really between you and God. That's your own personal convictions. That's why you hear people say, "But that's your personal conviction." That don't mean nothing. Um, it really shapes how you live and what you believe. But control, when it becomes control, is when you try to rule people by your convictions. By saying you evil if you celebrate Halloween. Just because you feel like Halloween is evil doesn't mean I feel like Halloween is evil. Some of us just want our kids to be kids and do normal kid things. Some things y'all are gonna realize is the intent. It's not what you do, it's the intent that you have. Y'all are crazy. Y'all get on my nerves a lot with that. Because if you feel like you want to go down a rabbit hole, you can pull my post up from my pastor who shared every year. Halloween, pagan, demonic. So is birthday candles. So is the Nike brand. So is all of these things are rooted in pagan mythology, all the things. So everything we can find something evil, rooted, witchcraft, whatever. Let people live. If that child want to go out and do stuff, I talked about this a while back about making children practice religion and do things that they don't understand. Like when I said that y'all making these young girls wear long skirts and they like in the second grade and telling them that they gonna go to hell when they don't understand that they friend come to school every day with pants on and they don't understand why they friend not going to hell, or they say it and you traumatize somebody else's kid, and this kid not running home, mama, my friend said because I wear pants every day I'm going to hell. Like, why don't we just let kids be kids? If that's what you believe, fine. But I am going to tell you, it is, as a elementary educator, it is not now cool, or never will it ever be cool, to make kids practice religion or parts of religion that they do not clearly understand. Kids need their innocence. They need to continue to be kids. I know, woo, that blows your mind. It's crazy. Those are your convictions. That's what somebody has taught you. That kid don't understand. Even most of them at that age don't even understand the fullness or the full concept of hell, other than the fear tactics and fear mongering that they've been taught by an adult. They don't know how to obtain knowledge of what hell really is. So now you just out here intentionally, unintentionally scaring people. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. It's lost its mind. Um. So yeah. Um. And like I said, a lot of people confuse the two. Like, this isn't, your convictions aren't for you to find a point to control people. Um. I will say this, and I hold true to this, that true conviction, like when you really feel convicted by something, it'll humble you. It make you compassionate. If you are really convicted about something, you'll be compassionate. You'll learn to grow in your grace and grow in compassion. Control humiliates others. That's all it does. It makes you judgmental. Even Jesus called out the Pharisees. They looked like they was holy. The leaders, they look holy in all the things. That's why I say for the place that Jesus flipped the temple was not amongst people. It was in, I mean, flipped tables. It was in the temple amongst the leaders. It was not amongst people, and there's a reason why. And the world is showing y'all that every day. They look like they were holy, but they lack compassion. I know, mind blowing. Oh, my eyes. It's So let's talk about this cycling of religious trauma. Um, the honest to God truth about religious trauma is, many people who harm others in the name of religion will harm themselves, which is why I say you only preach, or you only regurgitate what you know. Most people, they don't take the time to study to show themselves approved. They don't take time to do anything. They just regurgitate what they've heard. Your religion is literally, your religious altitude is that of what the person who is responsible, or you made responsible for teaching it to you. This is why I say churches be on Sunday. If the only thing you doing is going to church on Sundays, that's problematic. You're not growing yourself by just going to church on Sunday. You need to get in there and make sure that what your pastor said was true. Some people are literally out here intentionally deceiving people in the pulpit. And so what a lot of y'all will do is go and just regurgitate what they said as doctrine, sound doctrine, and it don't be. I've listened to a whole lot of people in the last few months who have deconstructed themselves out of harsh religious tone theology and stuff. And I even heard, somebody I listen to almost daily said, in my church as a kid, we never really opened up our Bibles. They kind of had everything in like in these curriculum books and outlines and stuff. So I never really opened my Bible until I was almost in my late 30s. You imagine how many people that is in the world? Can you imagine somebody just, the Bible is already a translation, and we're learning, if you if you have been on this earth that a while, or you listen, a lot of the Bible's translation is lost through people, through language barriers, all the things. So if they're taking the Bible and handing out curriculum and outlines and what they want. They're only putting in there what they want you to know. You ain't gonna know what you never read. You religion, and this is something else why you should be careful about who you choose as a pastor, who you see want to be your pastor. Religion is meant to be a mechanism of trust. So these people you say your pastor, you trust him. You trust that they would do and make the right decisions regarding your advancement in religion. And I'm not necessarily talking about a call, I'm just talking about going to church and all the things that come with religion. But as I said, everybody don't have the righteous intent. There's some things, if you're not reading, the Bible tells you to study to show yourself approved, and I've said it 1,000 times. But if you're not studying to show yourself approved by using the actual book, then what are you supposed to know? And I take it that that church isn't the only church that does that. I guarantee you. Now, this person, she's a middle aged white woman. I think she's almost 60. But she literally told her, she's like, I did not open the Bible. She said, and once I started opening the Bible and realizing these are a lot of things that I've heard in the last 30 years wasn't what was really in the Bible, it was crazy. And I said, I can imagine sitting there with a Bible that you ain't opened in 30 years. It's like, that's not what they told me. That ain't what they taught me. That ain't this ain't that and that ain't it. That's crazy. So people put God, and I really hate when people put out God more like a judge than a father. That's the way they learn God. They learn this harsh, punishing, critical God, um, rather than to be a leader like a father, a figure, a helper, a parent. Um, they learn that love is conditional, and now since they're not gonna heal, they just recondition um themselves and recreate the system that broke them. That's why we're going through what we're going through today. A lot of these people that call on Jesus' name to get y'all attention don't read the Bible. They don't. Half of them don't even go to church. They just say what they say. I ain't lying. They legit just say what they say because they heard somebody else say it and it sounded good. That's why you have people say these statements like, smart people don't like me. Because they know that smart people actually go and check and make sure you telling them the truth and not a lie. So when that system, whoop, back to when they recreate that system, so they were shamed, so they shame people. They were silent, so they try to figure out how to silence people. They guilt people into being obedient because that's the way they feel like it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be. It's what you're supposed to do. And you're not. And what it ultimately is spiritual abuse. Religious trauma is spiritual abuse. And to me, as somebody who's seen it, witnessed it, who has lived through it a little bit, just a smidge bit, it's one of the worst types of abuse. And I as somebody who has, I'm talking about somebody who has been in a domestically abusive relationship, who has been sexually assaulted, who has been physically abused, verbally abused, psychologically abused. I think spiritual abuse is probably the worst. When you start tapping into people's mechanisms to believe, it's the worst. I mention this because this is where religious trauma has gotten us today. I told y'all at the beginning, I tell y'all I'm in my deconstructing religion era. And coming on apps like TikTok and Facebook and going down these rabbit holes and listening to stories of people who are coming out of the faith because of what people have done to them, especially when you hear them talk about how this one guy I was listening to, he was a pastor of almost a mega church for over 20 years, and now he's an atheist. And when you go and follow his story, it's because a lot of manipulation. He spent a lot of his time being manipulated and abused and stuff. And so his way of unraveling himself was just to walk away from it altogether. And it's tough to hear people say, I'm walking out of the faith altogether. Especially after, if you've been a pastor for 20 years, something in you believes something. And just to walk off like it's nothing is deep. Like, huh? What? But do you blame them? No. Do I see how it happens? Absolutely. I see exactly how we have people that have been in the faith 20, 30 years, served in leadership, done all the things, and all of a sudden they wake up one day and they don't even want to believe in God no more. Like, I 1000% understand. This world is cruel. People who call on the name of God and Jesus are by far some of the cruelest people I've ever met. Some of the nastiest feedbacks, comments, things that people have said to me, especially since I've started this podcast, have been from Christians. Especially when I touch topics where they thought that me as a leader in the church shouldn't have touched, I shouldn't have said anything about. Oh my God. You'd have thought that I cussed God out. The way some of these people responded to me, some of the things they said to me. I tell you straight on, if my head went on straight, I'd probably walk clean away from Christianity because they doing way too much in this. And I literally don't want to be attached to it. I will. I mean, I'm Christian, but I ain't like them people over there. Like, my friends tell me all the time. It was like, you would think you're not even part. No, I don't have a necessity to throw around that I'm in clergy all the time. I don't have a necessity to walk around stiff as a board, being condescending, being condemning, trying to control people. Live your life. Living your life is part of your own personal conviction. I can't tell half of these people that say they saved anyway. Not by some of the stuff you say, but that ain't none of my business. I'm not perfect and I don't care to be. I'm a work in progress. That's what you all should be. All you got to do is strive to be better the next day than you were today. grow a little care, grow a compassion, be kind. That's what Jesus was about. Y'all get in that Bible and start going ham, telling people what God didn't like, you don't like, ain't gonna do it. Girl, whatever. So after all this and all I've said about weaponizing faith, there is still an opportunity for redemption. Um, because you can love God and deconstruct what hurt you. You can heal. A lot of you just need to heal. Um, you can leave the harmful parts of religion without leaving your faith. Which is why when I talked about the guy that had been a pastor for 20 years, he just walked away. There were other ways to go by it, but I understand why he did it. You can question your beliefs and still be spiritual. I've said that already. Um, I feel like healing truly begins when you realize that God is not your trauma and isn't about your trauma. Religion is not your trauma. Um, God loves you and isn't trying to condemn you. Like literally, I know it's you know Romans to say, "Let there be no condemnation." Like, and y'all still walking around condemning people. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's this is not a system. Christianity is not a system to silence you, and he is not putting people out here to shame you against popular belief. I know your faith should be freedom. That's what religion is supposed to be. It's supposed to be grace. It's supposed to be about freedom. It should be able. You should be able to rest in God. You should be able to be restored. You shouldn't be restricted. You shouldn't live in fear. And if you're on a healing journey, it should be like a therapy to you. I think a lot of people just don't heal because so many people in the faith are so cruel. And I'm like, why? Why did you even have to say that to her? I've heard some of y'all say some awful stuff. And I'm like, why did you even have to say that? Especially you leaders. You leaders know how to file down a tree faster than a tree man out there. I mean, like, yeah, yeah, it's crazy. If you want to think about or you want to start healing, these are things that I suggest. I suggest you start writing the things down that hurt you the most. I suggest you journal it out and then you begin to pray and say, God, I really want to know you beyond the rules that broke me or that hurt me. Or God, you know I'm dealing with this thing and I don't want to deal with it. Help me break from it. So as I walk away from this topic, um, I want to leave y'all with this right here. As I walk away from this, that religion can either heal you or hurt you. It depends on how you root it. You're either gonna plant weeds or you're gonna plant trees with it. You're either gonna do it in love or you're gonna do it in fear. Unhealed people lead with control. That's it. And if your faith causes you to belittle, bully, and shame others, it is not conviction. It is literally a cry for help for you to heal. You need to get on somewhere, sit down, and get yourself together. The biggest thing is your faith needs to be soft. It needs to make room for humanity. I know something that y'all lack a lot. So I hope that something that I said and all of what I said in the past, I don't know how many minutes I talked about this. I hope y'all got something out of it. Um, that was literally my topic for today. I really want y'all to stop weaponizing religion against people. This is not a gun. We are not shooting people. There is no contest. How many whats we could do what? Like literally, go sit down somewhere. Just go sit down somewhere. It doesn't get that serious. Just go sit down. It's crazy. It don't make any sense. We don't have to trauma bond. It's okay. Come up out your religion. I hope this helped more. I hope this helped a lot of y'all. I hope you self-examine and get yourself together because we living in a tough time. Religion don't need nobody. Life, people don't need religion to whoop they behind to. Life is already doing it. So let's roll on to my next thing, and that is food. I already told y'all I'm ready for Thanksgiving. 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 But I tell y'all what I do want. I want to make I want to make me a pork sauce cup. I done seen the. I know because it's getting cold probably. I done seen like 3011 videos on sauce and QV wants some sauce. Now I'm not talking about hog head cheese. I'm talking about like South Florida sauce cup. I eat enough hog head cheese. I might need to go get me some. Just a little bit. I ain't had none in a while. I could use me a little couple pieces of hog head cheese. Or anybody want to go to Food Depot and get me some 5-star house sauce? That'd be greatly appreciated. That's what I want. It's 5-star hot. I don't like it's in the red pack, not the blue pack of sauce. It's usually over there by the smoked meats. That's what I want. I also seen, and I know this is gonna probably be a Florida thing, where they make and they cut up the cubes of meat to already be ready for sauce. I wish they did that here. That would be much easier than me gonna have to go cut it up in the cubes or whatever. But I'm okay. I'll get through it. But I want to make a sauce cup. I got the stuff in there. I got hog maws in there. I got chitlins. I got pig feet in there. I ain't got no pig ears. I would have to go get me some pig ears. But I got about everything in there to make sauce. I don't know. I might. I might make me some for my birthday. Cause keep in mind my birthday is in a month. My birthday is in a month. I was born on November the 18th of 1989. It's in a month. No, I'm not having a party this year. I got too much other stuff going on. I don't know. I'll probably take myself out if I get the money, cause child. Cha cha cha. I'm still yawning. Um, yeah, that's that. Um, let's see. Who am I shouting out this week? Oh, my arm. Uh, I know it was somebody I wanted to shout out, and I forgot to write it on my notepad. I did. I had somebody I wanted to shout out. Oh, my arm. I forgot. Dang. It was somebody I wanted to shout out. Well, I do know this. I should shout out everybody who gave to me this week, who tried to help me get that $45,000 debt down. Because, baby, y'all the real MVPs. I'm not even going to sit here and hold y'all, and I'm not even going to lie. Y'all the real MVPs. I appreciate that. I love y'all down for it. And as I stated before, my GoFundMe is linked in the caption of this podcast when I post it. If you got it to give, I don't care if it's $1. Give it. I appreciate it. All of it. Let's see. So this challenge for the weekend, I'm gonna roll this word of wisdom up. And I usually do my question on my challenge for the week, and then I do my word of wisdom. But I'm gonna do my words of wisdom first and roll the challenge up into it at once. Okay, here we go. Yesterday we learned that most people are not gonna get their food stamps in the month of November, which is tragic. On top of tragic, because it's Thanksgiving month. It's the one month that people, you know, get together and eat and stuff. It's the one holiday where everybody try to make sure they have food on the table. All the things that go on with Thanksgiving. On top of it's the holidays in general. It's supposed to be a very festive time of the year. And so many people I know are depressed, they're anxious, and they're down in this administration and all the things that are going on are making it that way. I know people that work for the federal government and now they don't have a paycheck, but they are still expected to show up for work with no money and no pay. I know people, let's just say QV know a little bit of everybody and a lot that's going on right now. And the sentiment isn't that good. And then when you get online to pass time, because that's what a lot of them are doing, they just on here pass the time. They're trying to get their follower count up, including myself, to just get in the creative awards program. They get on TikTok or whatever, try to get in, monetize their content, etc. They try to do what they try to do, and they have to watch some of you who are so far removed, incompassionate, and crazy, as we saw this week. People actually berate people for being on food stamps, getting public assistance and anything, just like it won't be you tomorrow. I don't care how you feel about a certain topic or whatever. Some things, just keep it to yourself. If you don't have anything nice to say, that's like the golden rule, really. Don't say it at all. There is no reason to be as incompassionate and as crazy as some of y'all are. It's nuts. I was sitting there like, huh? Why would you even say something like that? Why would you even do something like that? Like, that's crazy. You don't have to be that mean. It's well beyond my comprehension. I've never been crazy and mean and foolish or whatever. There is no reason to attack people because they don't know about next month. And this whole misconception about people who receive government assistance don't work, etc., and all the things is crazy. Work or being in school is an actual, or being disabled is an actual requirement of getting public assistance. Unless you're elderly or disabled, you work. People aren't just out here getting food stamps and stuff like that because for the last 2 or 3 years, they've been cutting down on that. They've interviewed people, gotten them off of public assistance and everything. I know quite a few people who lost their assistance because they went down to you got to work 80 hours a week if you able body and all the things you just can't file unemployment weeks were shrunk, all the things. So people are not just out here depending on government assistance like y'all think they are. It literally, we're living in a time where everybody is working and poor. You can't afford rent. Even if you go out here right now, unless you got a job, and I'm dead serious when I say this, unless you got a job paying almost $20 or better, you can't afford this rent and bills and to eat and anything else. So what is that telling y'all? When y'all say you lazy, you don't do nothing, anything else, baby. The rent where I stay at, the average person right now paying rent where I stay at, probably paying right at $1,700 to $2,300 for rent. And that's almost in a shack and a hole. The mortgage prices these days look like rent. Somebody told me their mortgage was $1,500. The whole goal of buying a house used to be to have a decreased price from rent. That was the whole point. I'm gonna tell y'all how I know, cause my mortgage ain't $600. It's $542, and it's only that high because it's been taxed up that high. And insurance has bought it up that high. But the principal on my mortgage without taxes and insurance is $316. That was the whole point of going out and getting a mortgage. Whole point. It was never to be paying the price of rent. But people with mortgages now, they mortgages almost $2,000 in rent, $4,000. It's like no win. I don't care. Sitting up there with the whole ideal that people who are on government assistance are lazy, poor, and not working is crazy work. And the people that receive the most government assistance isn't who y'all quite think it is. Y'all equate black and ghetto with public assistance, and that's not quite always the case. I'm gonna help y'all as an African American woman who have a lot of African American friends in different spectrums of incomes and thresholds and jobs and stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all most of my friends, if not all of them, let me think. No, none of my friends receive food stamps. TANF, WIC. Only their disabled kids receive SSI and full Medicaid. Some of their kids receive like the state insured benefit plan, like CHIP, what they call it here, which will be like Peach Care for kids. And us grown people are fucking forking over lots of money for insurance premiums. private insurance out of our jobs and paychecks. That's what we doing. I think I got one friend that used the marketplace because her job don't offer benefits. And that's a lot of people that I'm putting in that group. And some of my friends have themselves, their children, and their spouses on the insurance. And they paying out a, a good portion of their check without pulling out any other kind of insurance. They just pulling out that is a good sum of their check. They make $2,300, $2,400 a month, and $550 of it going to insurance. What? I ain't paying no taxes or nothing. You ain't working, doing nothing but working to keep benefits. So please get this misconception out of y'all brains. Georgia, it's been working for years now. I think since 2022 to eliminate the amount of people on state assistance. They have interviewed everybody, disqualified everybody, and everything else. They have a requirement. You got to do this, that, this, and this. And if you can't, you won't have assistance. Okay? But this is what I want y'all to do. There's a creator on socials called Dollar Tree Dinners. I want y'all to go find Dollar Tree Dinners. And I want y'all to pack up some of those bags. And if you can print it, or you can put it on the index card. She always put the recipe in it. But she try to make bags from the Dollar Tree for a family of 4 for under $10 out of Dollar Tree. I want y'all to try to pack up as many of those bags as y'all can and put them in the blessing pantries around town, around your town, or give them to a charity or somebody, or whatnot. Or literally, if you got some extra money, either give it in cash or charity, or go buy some non-perishables and give to them. This is gonna be hard. This is gonna be hard. I'm gonna tell y'all this from the standpoint of an educator. A lot of kids, the only time they eat a good whole hot meal is at school. Some of these kids have to eat whatever their parents cook because all they got is little money or little food stamps. Can you imagine what we're about to go through now? A lot of women get WIC and food stamps. WIC doesn't provide enough cans, and they baby eat a lot more cans. I was that parent than what WIC provides in a month's time. So they use their food stamps to supplement their formula. And before you say something ignorant, all women cannot produce milk. So you should be breastfeeding anyway. It's not a valid argument. Some kids can't tolerate breast milk. I've seen it where a parent just had to go with like the purple Infamil or whichever one is the Gentlys. I can't remember that seminar Infamil or whatever because it was the gentlest thing for their child's stomach to not be having reflux and throwing up and all the things that come with little babies. But I want y'all to go give some food to these food banks. I don't care if it's 2 bags, 20 bags. I don't care if it's $2, $20, whatever you can do. These food banks are already stretched their limits. I have a couple of friends that actually have food pantries, and they're already not meeting the needs of the community now. They're turning people away every week. Much less what's about to happen with no food stamps. And if you have feel any kind of way about food stamps, then keep that to yourself. We don't care. We don't care. I'm gonna tell you, we don't care that you don't care about people with food stamps. All we trying to do is get through this tough time. And how do we get through tough times? We are better together. We are better together. There is no need to be separated and acting a fool and all this stuff. Bump that. That's how we got into this. Because some of y'all have this superiority complex, like you better than everybody, and now ain't nobody bigger than the program. Because let me explain to you what no food stamps is could potentially mean. Y'all know how much revenues food stamps generate for farmers, for in a time where farmers are being straight up disrespected, for small businesses, small grocery stores, big grocery stores alike. A lot of these stores depend on food stamps. Hold your hand. A lot of these stores depend on food stamps as revenue. Not having revenue, not having food stamps, this could potentially lead to people being laid off, even if it's temporary, because they won't have the revenue to pay people. So, yeah. Sorry about that. But I want y'all to go and help. We are better together. This is crazy. This is what we're gonna do is crazy. I want y'all to realize how um I got paused. How much this is going to affect um everybody. Not just people who get stamps or get government assistance. Some of y'all are gonna look up and not have jobs, probably. Some of y'all are gonna be looking up and gonna be just like these federal workers, furloughed, made to come to work without making money. All the things that happens in times like this. And we don't know how long WIC and TANF are gonna be funded. They say not right now, but how long? Which is this is ridiculous. And then you hear the ignorant comments about if the Affordable Care and Obamacare was such all these weird things, then why blah 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 blah. Let me help y'all. For the ones of y'all that don't talk to real people, you just use click points and stuff off the internet. Before the Obamacare, before the Affordable Care Act, because that's what it is called, was passed, I was looking for health insurance. I did not have a job and I needed to go to the doctor. This time I was having very bad problems with my fibroid, uterine fibroid. I had been hospitalized a couple of times for this fibroid. That's just how much problem it was giving me. But I needed insurance because I needed to be out of the emergency room because that was the only thing I was going was to the emergency room. When I went to research insurance for me, one person, one person, one person was nearly $400, $500 a month for one person. After the Affordable Care Act, I went back and looked at that insurance rate, and it was private insurance. And that same plan had dropped over $200 a month. That is what the Affordable Care Act did. The Affordable Care Act did that. Not only did it did that, it says that you had to insure people regardless of their pre-existing conditions. Some of you have insurance because of the Affordable Care Act. It also gave the insurance portal, the healthcare exchange marketplace. For the ones of you that continue to say to get these illegals off of federal insurance, subsidized insurance, they don't qualify anyway. What they are trying to convey is that the way hospitals are paid Medicaid for emergencies, for people who are citizens versus non-citizens, etc., all of those subsidies die. And so once that dies and everything else dies, insurance premiums will go back to being the way they were pre-ACA. And I'm going to tell you right now, the insurance went up drastically last year on the job that I'm on now, and it took a 12% increase this time. That I couldn't even afford the insurance that I got this year. I had to drop down because I couldn't afford it. I was like, I can't pay that much money. I can't pay that much money a month for health insurance because I'm not getting paid much. I'm gonna have to drop down an insurance plan in the midst of me having health crises and having to go to the doctor and all the things that's been going on right now. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Don't make no sense. Y'all don't I'm learning y'all don't read. Y'all just listen to what other people say. And you don't talk to real people. I want y'all to understand that politicians are for propaganda. Go talk to real people about these issues and let real people tell you what's going on. Some of us actually do research and see what's going on. I had somebody argue me down. I was like, baby, all you got to do is go over there and try to fill out the application. I'm not finna pull up AI and has Chat GPT a thing. AI literally puts in what you put out what you put into it. Go do your own homework. Go fill out the application. And you're going to realize, oh, maybe they don't qualify. Maybe that's not what it's a ploy. Politics is supposed to sell something. I mean, it shouldn't, but it does. So sitting around and regurgitating what some crooked politician told you is insane to me. It doesn't make sense. Go do your homework. Certainly, listen on a politician and believing on them. And I really didn't get into that. Believing politicians because they call on Jesus is crazy. Only now to find out that I'm not even going to get into that. I ain't even going to get into that. Because now y'all finding out why. But it's okay. Y'all going to get through it too. I hate that people have to suffer for others not wanting to draw a line. Oh, now it's the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay. I guess. So, like I said, make sure y'all get down to the food pantry and give what you can. And if you need this season, make sure you make people aware that you need. We can't read your brain. Don't just be sitting around starving and stuff. It's tough. But even I got an extra meat or two that I can give somebody. a pack of chicken or something. I'll even fix it for you. You need me to fix it for you. Like don't in this season while we going through this, don't sit somewhere hurting and nobody know you hurting. Sound the alarm, ring a bell. Somebody will help you. We are again better together, whether y'all believe it or not. We get things done when we are unified, not divided. That's how we fall. Don't forget, I still have ads for sale. Um, they're only $10. They run at the beginning of the pod. I'll start it before I start all the rambling, so you don't have to wait to the end to hear your ad. Hear when it's most likely heard. Um, and I'm open for interviews. I talked about that at the beginning. Get with me and let me know. And with that being said, that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. We got it done in less than 2 hours. I didn't want to be back to 2 hours. I told y'all I was trying to get this down for an hour, but I know with this topic it was going to take some time. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope y'all get something out of this. I hope y'all that's being mean and crazy stop being mean and crazy. For the ones of y'all that need to heal, I pray that you get yourself into a place where you can, one, be delivered from what's hurting you and then begin to heal. Because we all know healing starts with deliverance. So I hope you get there. In a world that you could be anything, be kind, be whole, and be at peace. I love you and good bye.